Food scraps don't belong in the trash. So where do we put them? It can be hard to set up good systems for collecting and processing kitchen scraps. There are challenges like bugs and bad smells. Usually, I toss my kitchen scraps in the green bin so they can be composted. But in the winter, green bin collection stops. Let me show you how I make good use of my food scraps in the winter. My food scrap collection system all starts with the humble bucket. I keep this bucket on the kitchen floor. It's always ready for me to toss some scraps in when I need to. When you're collecting food scraps in your kitchen, smell is a valid concern. The way I counter this is by putting a cotton t-shirt on top of my bucket. This blocks most smells from escaping the bucket. For me, this shirt provides enough protection. I only smell the bucket when I lift up the shirt to add things. But if you needed to mitigate the smell further, you could add something like sawdust or wood shavings every time you throw in some food scraps. These materials do very well at absorbing excess liquid and also blocking smells. Currently, I'm using a compostable bucket liner to collect my food scraps, but in the past, I've used a bed of leaves that helps to absorb excess moisture. It's good to have something between your food scraps and the bucket to prevent it from getting too messy. Once the bucket gets full, we need to empty it out somewhere. Let's go out to the garden. I'm going to bring the compost bucket, a shovel, and a rake. Welcome to the garden. Things are looking surprisingly green this December. I'm continually surprised by how many different foods I still see growing this late into the season. What I'm going to do is choose a section of the garden where nothing is growing, and then I'll start digging. I'm going to dig a hole bigger than the size of the bucket. Once you have a good sized hole, just empty out the bucket right into it. You don't want to keep the scraps in the bag because it will block the oxygen from circulating. Now what I'll do is take my shovel and try to cut up these food scraps. The smaller the pieces are, the more quickly they can break down. Next up, we'll backfill. I'll use the shovel for the first couple scoops and then the rake to smooth things out. This method of using food scraps is often called trench composting. Once the food scraps are buried, they will attract earthworms and many other creatures, which will help to break down the food scraps. They'll turn these scraps into organic matter and nutrients that plants can use to grow. I really like this method because it requires no maintenance and it's very discreet. It doesn't leave a smell or attract pests as long as you bury it deep enough. The great thing is, you don't need a garden to use this method. Even if you just have regular landscape plants, you can just find somewhere to bury your scraps there. This composting method isn't perfect. There are a few things you need to watch out for. First is time. If you plant over these scraps too soon, they might do more harm than good. Also, watch out for buried utility lines. You don't want to hit one of those when you're digging. And lastly, avoid overly salty foods. Excess salt can harm your soil and plants. Kitchen scraps don't belong in the landfill. When you throw away your kitchen scraps, they fill up landfills faster, rot, and generate methane. Food scraps are a valuable resource that can be used in the garden. While this method works for me, a different method might work best for you. I might make a video comparing different composting methods, comparing the pros and cons of each. If you're interested in seeing that video, leave a comment below. Anyways, thanks for watching. See ya.